To see these global climate and agricultural forces play out in real time, we must turn our attention to India, the world's largest consumer and second-largest producer of sugar. By August 2026, a perfect storm of climate anomalies, crop diseases, and surging demand triggered an unprecedented crisis in the Indian domestic market. Between July 20 and August 20, 2026, retail sugar prices in India experienced a stunning, vertical surge, climbing from 48.18 rupees per kilogram to 55.70 rupees per kilogram in a single month. In some regions, the all-India modal retail price touched a staggering 65 rupees per kilogram by late August. Ex-factory prices realized by mills also skyrocketed, jumping to as high as 64 rupees per kilogram in Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. The public and the media immediately pointed fingers at the government's ambitious ethanol blending program, claiming that the aggressive diversion of sugarcane to meet the nationwide biofuel mandates was starving the food market of supply. But a detailed press release from the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, supported by hard market data, rejected this theory. In reality, the share of Indian sugarcane diverted for ethanol production had actually declined, dropping from 12% in the 2022-23 season to around 9% in 2025-26. Furthermore, nearly three-fourths of India's ethanol was now being produced from grains, primarily maize, rather than sugarcane juice. The ethanol program was not the culprit. Instead, the price surge was driven by a classic supply-side squeeze compounded by climate and biological shocks. First, gross sugar production for the current season plummeted to just 30.6 million tons, a massive shortfall of over 3 million tons against initial estimates of 34.3 million tons. This production collapse left India's closing stocks at a projected 9-year low of just 4.1 million tons. Some industry analysts estimated it was the lowest stock level since 2008. The root cause of this shortfall was a severe climate anomaly. In September and October 2025, excess, unseasonal rainfall and delayed monsoon withdrawals severely waterlogged sugarcane fields in the major growing states of Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Gujarat. This waterlogging stunted cane growth and dramatically reduced sucrose accumulation in the stalks. Compounding this climate stress was a biological crisis in the north. In Uttar Pradesh, India's leading cane-producing state, the dominant and highly favored Co. 0238 sugarcane variety was hit by a double epidemic of red rot fungal disease and top shoot borer insect pests. Spurred by the warm, humid, waterlogged conditions, these pests and pathogens swept through the fields, decimating entire harvests. As local supplies tightened, the global market offered no relief. The global sugar deficit for the 2026-27 season was already estimated at a staggering 3.3 million tons, driving international sugar prices up by over 16% in less than 2 months, surging from $474 per ton in June to $552 per ton by late August. Sensing a domestic shortage, some mills and speculative traders began hoarding physical stock, creating an artificial scarcity ahead of India's massive festive season, when sugar demand peaks for the Dussehra and Diwali celebrations. To prevent a catastrophic price spiral and protect consumers, the Indian government launched an aggressive, multi-pronged intervention. First, they imposed a strict stock limit of 400 tons on sugar dealers nationwide, while bulk consumers, such as soft drink manufacturers and commercial sweet makers, were barred from holding more than 15 days of consumption stock. Joint central state enforcement teams were deployed across the country to conduct physical audits of mill inventories, checking paper declarations against real stocks to bust hoarding networks. Second, the government took the extraordinary step of banning all sugar exports to prioritize the domestic market. To further augment supply, they approved the duty-free import of 1 million tons of raw sugar, completely waiving the standard 100% import tariff. Finally, they directed mills to begin the crushing season early, by October 15, aiming to inject more than 1 million tons of fresh sugar into the market during the peak of the festive season. This crisis highlighted the delicate, high-stakes tightrope that policymakers must walk between energy security, agricultural viability, and consumer food security.